The Ghast, a terrifying creature that has been the death of many an interdimensional traveler. With their haunting shrieks and distinct white color, the Ghast is one of the most recognizable mobs native to the Nether. Or maybe not. Recent archaeological discoveries have shed new light on the life cycle of the Ghast, completely changing everything we thought we knew. Today, we will explore the biology and life cycle of the Ghast and discuss new theories surrounding this misunderstood mob. First of all, we must begin with the discovery that sparked this new insight. While exploring a soul sand valley, researchers stumbled upon this object, close to an ancient fossil. Upon examination, it bore a very close resemblance to the Ghast, a well-known mob and one of the earliest documented creatures by the first Nether explorers, albeit a very small Ghast. The specimen was dry and hardened, resembling the bones around it, which led scientists to initially conclude that they had discovered a dead Ghast. Naturally, it was taken back to the overworld for study, where it was discovered that the cells of the specimen were not dead but dormant and reacted positively to water. As it turned out, this mystery creature was in fact a Ghast, and was most certainly not dead, but instead dehydrated and in a sort of hibernation. After a prolonged observational period submerged in water, it sprung to life as a Ghastling, which fed predominantly on snow, but it seemed to enjoy all forms of water. Eventually, the Ghastling grew into a full-size Ghast, which, most curiously, displayed no signs of aggression and even acted friendly towards its caregivers. Our observations were so counter to everything we thought we knew about Ghasts, we had to reconsider them entirely. How could an animal native to the Nether be so reliant on water in a dimension where none exists? It couldn't. Visually, the Ghast has a squid-like appearance and a bright white color in stark contrast to their surroundings. In fact, all Nether mobs match the color scheme of the dimension except for the Ghast. This evidence suggests that Ghasts are actually native to the overworld, which begs the question, how did they get here? Well, we don't know, but a speculative look into their biology may help us answer this. First and foremost, how do Ghasts reproduce? As the discovery first circulated, many seemed to think that the dehydrated Ghast is a baby, due to its small size and Ghastling growth stage. But the Institute does not agree. Most mobs in Minecraft can breed using food items, with a few exceptions. Knowing that the Ghastling was observed to consume snowballs, it could be inferred that snow could be used to breed Ghasts. This would make it impossible for baby Ghasts to exist in the Nether, where there is, of course, no water. This is the theory we propose. Ghasts are not native to the Nether, but they can survive there. This is due to their incredible regenerative ability. When a Ghast is killed, it drops a Ghast tear, which has remarkable healing properties. The tear may be akin to the core of the animal and is thought to contribute to a very long lifespan. In the Nether, conventional reproduction is impossible, and there is no evidence to suggest asexual reproduction. Since no new Ghasts can be created in the Nether, the ones that we see must be the ones that were originally brought here. This would indicate that Ghasts are extremely long-lived. Their regeneration ability allows them to survive in this hellish environment, retaining water in a fashion similar to camels of the overworld. By doing so, they can theoretically survive in the Nether over many centuries, but they can't last forever and will eventually become dehydrated and enter a state of hibernation, also a behavior observed in other animals. A lot of amphibians who are very reliant on water are known to dry themselves out in a state called estivation, and are able to survive in a desiccated state for many months or even years. Strange as it may seem, we believe the Ghast shares many traits with terrestrial amphibians, absorbing water through their skin and having gill-like structures. In fact, axolotls too are known for their remarkable regenerative ability. The two share so many similarities that it's proposed they may be phylogenetically related. Having been dried out and hibernating for so long, a rescued Ghast cannot immediately bounce back and must absorb lots of water to regenerate itself, which explains the Ghastling growth stage, where we can see a soft pink bottom and gills indicating new tissue generation. Finally, the fossils of the Soul Sand Valley are usually represented in very large rib cages, bigger than any adult Ghast. All this to say, although it makes for a good narrative, dehydrated Ghasts are not babies. So why are they only found in soul sand near fossils? Well, the Soul Sand Valley is littered with fossils, bones, and undead skeletons. The sand itself is so named because it is believed to absorb and contain the trapped souls of creatures and people alike. Very creepy. It's possible that the Soul Sand Valley has properties we do not yet understand that draw dying mobs to it, sort of like an elephant graveyard. As such, Ghasts would be drawn to it as they prepared for their final stand. A final thought regarding the Ghast's proposed life cycle. Can Ghasts actually die? Of course, you might say. When one dies, it drops a tear. That would be that, except for the fact that dried Ghasts can be crafted from Ghast tears. This goes back to the truly incredible regenerative power of the tear, which is used by alchemists to brew potions of regeneration capable of bringing anyone back from the brink of death in almost an instant. Similar to the character Deadpool, if a Ghast is able to come back and fully regenerate from just a tear, this would make Ghasts functionally immortal. If you need more evidence, we know that Ghast tears are also used to craft End crystals, which can be used to regenerate the Ender Dragon, one of the most powerful entities in the known universes. That covers the general biology and life cycle, but there are still other questions to be answered. Where do Ghasts come from? Why are they in the Nether? And why are they only aggressive toward people? As we've established, Ghasts are not native to the Nether, so where are they from? No Ghast has ever been seen in the overworld, and if they are from here, they are most likely extinct. They would have most likely inhabited colder, wetter climates, given their white color and affinity for snow. Perhaps at one time, Ghasts could have been seen floating over the tundra. However, there is another possibility. Having never seen any in the overworld, it's also possible that Ghasts are home to a different, unknown dimension, one whose secrets were lost long ago. A regular Ghast, as it seems, is friendly, has a light color scheme, and can fly. Is it possible that they are originally from the Ether dimension? For those who don't know, the Ether is a heavenly sky island dimension and the practical antithesis of the Nether. And from what we now know, the Ghast would be right at home there. Now, some in the scientific community would say this theory is invalid, since the Ether is largely regarded as a myth, or a story made up to tell children at the bedside.
And to those people, kids, we say, eat shit and die.
Given the Ghast's apparent extreme longevity or potential immortality, it's also possible that the Ether dimension may have existed thousands of years ago, and something bad may have happened there, making the dimension inaccessible or changing it completely to the point of non-recognition. But that's for another time. Regardless of their origin, Ghasts are currently only found in the Nether. There are some that claim that the Ghast actually is native to the Nether, just a relic of a more friendly environment that has since faded. We do not believe this is the case. It's true, the Nether climate has changed over time with the appearance of a myriad of both flora and fauna, but this only shows the Nether has become less hellish, not more so. And even then, the Ghasts were here before all of that. With that out of the way, it's time to finally address the elephant in the room, the Mobestiary. Written by an early, unnamed naturalist, the Mobestiary is an in-depth study of some of Minecraft's most famous mobs. The entry for the Ghast has sparked a lot of debate in the scientific community, especially since the discovery of the dehydrated Ghast. The book shows the internal structure of the mob containing redstone circuits and maybe a dispenser. This has led many to claim that Ghasts are just machines, but we believe the truth may be much darker. In addition to a tier, Ghasts may also drop gunpowder, an ingredient required for fire charge crafting. There's nothing to suggest that a Ghast can or cannot form the charges biogenically, but in the context of their probable watery origin, any fire-based abilities seem unlikely. Herein may lie the answer. The Ghasts are not machine, but instead have been experimented on and enhanced with cybernetics to enable them to shoot fireballs and even influence them to attack or specifically target people. These cybernetics may enable them to survive longer in the Nether as well. These Ghasts were captured, effectively enslaved, and turned into cyborgs, forced to patrol and guard their creators, potentially in bastions or Nether fortresses. Centuries later, with these structures in ruins, the Ghasts still roam the Nether wastes, trapped in this hellish land and slowly losing what little water they have to sustain themselves. They'll attack any person they see. Maybe they're still following their original directive, or maybe we just remind them of their creators, which either way accounts for their non-hostility toward native fauna. It also tragically explains the agonizing cries and screams of the Ghasts. Alternatively, it could be that exposure to the Nether has a transformative effect on the creature. As we know, piglins and hoglins can't survive in their normal state outside their home dimension, transforming into zombies almost immediately. Ghasts may experience a similar phenomenon, changing from friendly, water-loving mobs into aggressive, fire-spitting monsters. Though the color of their mouths and eyes seems to match up with redstone pretty well, either theory is possible. Either way, the fire within and around them is not great for the Ghasts. Nether ghasts have a more singed appearance. We can see these dark spots from evaporated tears under the eyes, and what we now know are gills are blackened and burned. Ghasts wouldn't willingly migrate here, let alone have the knowledge of portals. Cyborg or not, they were brought here. The silver lining, it seems, is that when a ghast dehydrates, any cybernetics are dismantled or expelled. All of this evidence suggests that ghasts are simply misunderstood. More research is required. The Institute has teams scouring soul sand valleys to uncover more dehydrated specimens to be revived and studied. We hope this broadcast was effective in raising awareness for these new discoveries. To support our work, please consider liking and subscribing, and feel free to tell us your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and till next time. This would indicate that ghasts... God.